Recording in progress.
We just stand because, might as well.
Exactly. Good evening and welcome to the Federal Way City Council meeting for March 21st of 2023. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you for joining us here this evening. We've got, the first thing on the agenda is we've got Mayor's emerging issues and, actually the first thing I need to do is excuse Councilmember Erica Norton. She actually, there was a medical emergency near where she lives and actually helped deliver a baby today, a baby boy. And and she's pretty exhausted. It was a lengthy process, but congratulations and thank you, Erica, for stepping up and helping that new family. So now what we'll do is move on. So she's excused. That absence is. Item 3, Mayor's emerging issues and report. We had the St. Patrick's Day flag raising at City Hall. All right, and we actually have Craig Patrick. Craig, would you like to just give a brief presentation, not presentation, but a report on the festivities? We've got some pictures there.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Thank you, Council President, council members, community. Thank you very much. My name is Craig Patrick. I'll give a report out. We raised a flag on March 17th at 9 o'clock here in Federal Way to celebrate the Irish Americans here in our community. Prior to that, in Seattle, we were asked to march in the parade. We carried the Federal Way flag in the parade in Seattle. The hooligans and mischief makers behaved themselves, so I think we're going to be invited back again in Seattle. It would be great if we had other folks to join us in Seattle during that time. We did have a good turnout. There was a food truck, and this is Irish Week, so we're about in the middle way through Irish Week. So what we decided to do is we really like what they did last month with the African American Month and how they had a whole week dedicated each day. So on Fridays, we would like you to spend like friends and family on Fridays. On Saturdays, just kind of rest and relax. On Sunday, try to do some worship or spiritual stuff. Monday, you're not going to like this. Get up and go to work. Tuesday, go to a city council meeting. Get involved with a service organization. Try to do some volunteering. Wednesday, wear a flag. Wave your flag, or wear some clothes that make you feel proud or good about yourself, or take some pride in how you are on Wednesday. And Thursday, let's look back at the cultures that we're from and take a look and see how these cultures interact with every other culture that's in this city. And Friday, we're going to do it all over again. But I would like to thank the City Council and working with the city on this. We are hoping to expand this to the Performing Arts Center in the next year or so and have it around noon instead of 9 o'clock in the morning. We figured we could have this after the Seattle St. Patrick's Day Parade. That way we could have dancers, drummers, and bagpipers in the pack as well as merchants in the wraparound area in the pack. So we're hoping to expand this out to a bigger audience and a later date. Other than that, that's about all I have for the St. Patrick's Day report out. We acknowledge Cheryl Hurst and Ken Blevins, who embody the spirit of St. Patrick's through grit, faith, and self-discipline. And that's what we really strive for. And I want to thank you all for coming out, and I look forward to doing it again. We only have a year, so we're going to start planning on this. All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. It's a nice event. Okay, and yeah, the bagpipers were great. Everybody was great. Thank you. Report on March Diaper Drive on March 18th. Cheryl Hurst.
Thank you so much. City of Federal Way, once again, you brought it home. We had the March of Diapers yearly, Fred Meyer, Do the Right Thing, Diapers and Wipe Drive. The drum roll for the numbers for this year, come on. We did 11,891 diapers, 3,492 wipes, and that was all in a 4-hour period, just having customers coming out of the doors. If you could please stand up, Jody and Jeremy, John, Anna, Patrick, City Council that were here for helping collection and various other people. Literally, it takes a village to put all this together. So this is our 9th year. We have a little over a week left on the drive. We're going to probably need a miracle to beat last year's numbers for all the different cities that are collecting, because last year we did 396,801 diapers, 199,304 wipes. So we still got a week and a half left. So anybody has a little Irish pot of gold, pull it on out. Thank you so much, Bill Vidino. Literally, he pretty much put everything together and stayed there the whole entire day. You're a shining star. And Michael Williamson, who's one of the managers at Fred Meyer, if every retail store had a Michael, he literally came out, talked to people, had everything set out perfectly. The different employees came out asking about it and said, oh, this is great. We're really proud to be part of this. Came back in, there was $311, which is part of the 11,891 diapers, but $311. And they're like, here, we're going to stretch it as best as possible. Let's figure out how we can put this sale here, move this, do this. And literally, it just, yeah. Fred Meyer, Twin Lakes, you're rock stars. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you. Okay, now let's moving on to the. We've got next item is we're going to the National League of Cities. We're leaving on Saturday. We're going to Washington D.C. March 26th through 29th. Attending will be myself, Council President Linda Kochmar, Deputy Mayor Susan Honda, Councilmember Lydia Sefa-Dawson, and Councilmembers Jack Dovey, Jack Walsh, and Policy Advisor Bill Vidino. So we're going to be meeting with our 2 United States Senators, the senior staff of our congressman, and Adam Smith, and attending events with representatives from cities all over the nation. I think the meetings will really start Saturday, but really get kickoff on Sunday and Monday and then Tuesday. Council President?
Sure, and I just want to say this is in conjunction with the National League of Cities, all the cities across the entire nation meeting at a conference in Washington, D.C. They meet with their legislators, which are your 2 senators and your congressmen from your district. And this is the key. In this state of Washington, we have 2 senators, Murray and Cantwell. If you have hundreds of cities across the state, the only people that are going to be heard are the people who are knocking on the door saying, And we're the squeaky wheel getting the grease. We're trying to get the money for our city. If we don't do that, we won't get it. And that's why we're going there en masse. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Well, we're looking forward to it, and we leave on Saturday morning, so thank you. Oh, okay. Update on Sister City trip to Donghae, Korea, and Hachinohe, Japan. As we've said before, we're heading to those cities April 21st through the 26th, and we'll be flying into Incheon, and then we think we'll go through Seoul and then over to Donghae on the East Coast. And we'll be meeting with our counterparts and senior leadership of the city of Donghae during that time. And then after that, we'll go to Japan. And Hachinohe, Japan, has been a sister city with the city of Federal Way for over 2 decades. And actually, we're bringing with us Mark Freitas, who was the chamber president previously and was was one of the signatories to the original Sister City agreement over 2 decades ago. So myself, Deputy Mayor Susan Honda, the council members Lydia Sefa-Dawson, Hong Tran, Jack Walsh, as well as Tanya Carter, Chief Wong, John Hutton, our Parks Director, Pam Jones, and Bill Vedino. Community will be Mayor Emeritus Michael Park, Chamber President Becca Martin, and members of the Federal Way Korean American Association. And so we haven't been for quite some time. And it's been, I don't know, when do you think the last time was, Jack or Linda? It's been, yeah.
15, maybe years.
Yeah, about 15. Yeah, it's been quite a time. Yeah. So I think we've got sister city relationships with these folks, and I think we owe it to them to go see them, exchange. And it's not just a trip. It's not only a cultural exchange, but it's also an opportunity for business. That's why the chamber president will be there, and we're looking to make sure that we make good. Oh, and that's right. We've got our park that's coming in, and we'll be receiving funds for that, and that's down there by the King County Aquatic Center. The Hanrui Park, which is under development right now. So that's going to be a great time by all. Now we've got time for the most important part of the meeting, which is public comment. And the individuals who have signed up for 3 minutes each, unless you've noted that you're speaking on behalf of more than 5 people that are 5 or more that are present. And they're listed. I don't see anybody listed for 5. So 3 minutes. Green means go. Yellow means you've got 30 seconds. And red means please stop. And I don't like to interrupt people, so please. When the red goes off, please stop. We do ask that people identify what community they live in. We don't need your address, just the community. Okay. First, I'll call off some folks, and if you could queue up behind that, we've got Vivian Alexander, Susan Strong, Ken Blevins, Alex Milston, and Betty Taylor, Craig Patrick, Jen Barber, Sonia Leno. All right. Okay, so Vivian first.
Good evening, Mayor Farrell, Deputy Mayor Honda, Council President Kochmar. While I'm on the Human Services Commission, I am speaking as a community member. My name is Vivian Alexander, and I'm a Federal Way resident. And I'm speaking tonight as a member of the Federal Way community who observed the result of an arson fire at O'Reilly Auto Parts store on 32411 Pacific Highway South, the corner of 320th and 324th. This fire is at the bus stop on 320th. I did request a police report. As you can see from the pictures, and they have been provided, the bench is covered by burned debris that fell from the building. At the time I took the pictures, the yellow tape was lying on the ground and people were walking on the sidewalk close to where the debris is hanging and is close to falling. One man had a walker and couldn't move to the street. For about 3 years, this bus stop and bench has been occupied by people other than those waiting for the bus. It is often occupied by people sleeping, is covered in blankets, debris, and shopping carts are nearby. The area is dirty and has been for quite some time. The city may clean the area from time to time, although the issue is never resolved. And now it appears that an attempt was made early this morning to set the building afire. It is clear that this is not a safe or reasonable place to expect people to wait for a bus. It is not a safe place for the employees of O'Reilly Auto Parts either. I consider this a direct assault on those employed by O'Reilly and an indirect assault on all members of the Federal Way community. This business, its employees, and its customers deserve a safe environment in which to conduct business. I ask the City Council and Chief Wine to describe how this problem will be resolved. Please give us specifics, including the time frame, so that we, as citizens of Federal Way, can understand how our businesses are being protected from those who wish them harm. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivian. When public comment is over, I'll turn this over to, well, actually, Chief, you appear close by. Can you address this now? Thank you, Vivian. And we all received your pictures. Thank you. Chief?
Yes, there was a fire at Pacific Highway and 324 at the O'Reilly Auto Part store this morning. Fire was dispatched to a fire about 3:15 a.m. It's currently being investigated by the King County arson investigators, along with us, to determine if this was an accidental fire or if it was intentional. We are aware that from time to time, there is homeless people that congregate at that particular bus stop just because there's an overhang, particularly when the inclement weather conditions. What we're doing as a city to address it is we have a special operations unit. And some of these officers come in early morning hours, early as 4 a.m., and start patrolling. And we have numerous trespass letters from business owners within the community. So whether it's retail, other entities, and we are constantly enforcing the no trespass agreement we have with the businesses. So I would tell you that if we weren't being proactive as a city with our special operations unit enforcing the trespass laws, we would have much more serious situation in terms of illegal encampments and homeless individuals occupying private property. So we are proactive. We work with property management on a regular basis. We have ongoing meeting with them. I think we're doing a pretty good job. But in this incident, yes, there's a good likelihood that the homeless individuals who congregate there may have accidentally set the fire to try to stay warm, or it could have been intentional. We just don't know for sure at this point, but it is under investigation. And I want to assure you that we are, at the policy level and at the police department, we are being proactive to address these issues on an ongoing basis.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, Susan Strong.
Mayor Farrell, Deputy Mayor Honda, Council President Kochmar, and council members, I'm Susan Strong. I live in Federal Way. I volunteer with a group that cleans up property that has been trashed by people living on the streets in Federal Way. Never did I imagine I would see human waste on public property or see drug paraphernalia left over from drug trafficking, not to mention piles of garbage such as paper, cardboard bottles. I do not feel safe in Federal Way when I'm by myself. I don't drive out at night at all. I do not like to see people steal from stores where I shop or even from stores where I don't shop. Drug use and crime are out of control in Federal Way, and I don't want to sound like I'm piling on, but this is what it sounds like, sorry. Today, the City Council of Lakewood approved 2 ordinances, both unanimous decisions that will criminalize public drug use and ban camping on public property. The ban on camping only takes effect if the person refuses available shelter. The point is not to criminalize people, but instead to encourage them into treatment. The ordinances are similar to legislation passed in Kent, Marysville, Edmonds, and Tacoma. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
May I also, please do not give money to people on the side of the road. Do not do that. $20 will buy them their fix for the day, which could be meth, it could be fentanyl, it could be leading to their death. There are people who will help them. Have them call 211, which is a phone number they can call to get help. But don't give them money. That's why they're here. We're a very generous city. Please don't do that.
All right, thank you. Susan, I want to let you know that earlier this week, several council members have talked to me, actually over the past several weeks, watching those different cities, whether it's Linwood and some of those other cities. At the request of several council members and my own request, we actually, our Assistant City Attorney right now that's present with us, Joanna Eide, has been doing legal research on those. I want to let everybody know that at the state level, one of the reasons why you don't see cities criminalizing this versus the state is that there's something called state preemption in RCW 69.50, which is the RCW. Tell me if I go off the rails here at all, Joanna. But I haven't practiced for a while. But there's something called state preemption, which in this subject matter, the state has preemption. However, when they did after the state Supreme Court fix, I think I memorized your memo. When the legislature did the fix after the state Supreme Court knocked it down, they left they left a window open as it relates to drug paraphernalia, which could be considered open ground by cities. That's why you're seeing this. So we've researched this. We're ready to go. Recall, if you will, right after the Blake decision, this council did actually approve a new statute that would make possessory offenses a gross misdemeanor and illegal. But once the state did their fix, so to speak, that it preempted ours, and we had to dismiss, or not dismiss, but had to recall our city ordinance. So by the time we actually did an ordinance, this is all to say, this is a long way around the barn, Susan, sorry, but if we were to fix it right now, by the time actually it went into effect, what the legislature does this year will start going into effect. So part of what we're doing is there's a legislative bill right now that went through the House. It's Senate Bill 5536 that I testified in favor of, that essentially did what our prior law did. So what I suggest we do, and it's going to be up to the council, whatever we do has to go through the Public Safety Committee and then come up here. It's a little bit, and then there's 2 readings if we pass something. I do think probably the most prudent thing is to see what comes out of the legislature and how we can dovetail that. But again, your policymakers are up here. Your comment is incredibly timely. So I just want to let you know that.
And I can tag on to that, which would be if the legislature essentially legalizes personal possession of drugs. What we can do as a city, correct me if I'm wrong, pass an ordinance that would say we would make it a gross misdemeanor in our city.
Yeah.
And then we could put them through our own municipal court to get help. You know, a lot of people who are addicted will not get help unless they're forced to. So that's what our plan is.
That's right.
So,
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm one of the council members that has been trying since December to do something similar to what some of the other cities have done, but we need to be ready in case the state doesn't address this, because it's very possible that the state will not address this and will not fix it, and we need to be ready the minute that we know that that's not happening.
It would just take one meeting. We could do an emergency activation. We've actually got the prior ordinance. We're ready to go if that need arises. I think it's unlikely. I think I'm in frequent and constant contact with our lobbyist. I've testified down there, as have several council members. But I think the legislature will pass something. The current state of the law is a fact of de facto legalization. And so we'll be ready to go if we need to. All right. Ken, you've been waiting patiently. Ken Blevins.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for hearing me today. I was going to go to the gym today because I haven't been going all the time, so I'm trying to do better, but I couldn't help it. I had to come see you guys. And the reason why is because I'd seen some real concerning things on the street. Yesterday, it looked like Seattle up by the town center. There was a bunch of people camped out there underneath there. It seemed like they just got dropped off, not guys that I've noticed lately. I think, at least from driving by, I didn't notice it there today. So SOU is doing their job, so I appreciate you guys a lot. Thanks, Chief, for getting on that stuff. One thing that I would like the city to do, if possible, Mayor, is work with King County on the stuff that's just out of South King County. I was driving by where Pisa Canyon and Military Road is, and there's a huge encampment there now, and there's like 4 Target carts, which means they're coming into Federal Way, using that other place as a base because King County's not doing anything about it. And so if we can maybe as a city protect our city by working with King County on that, that would be awesome. So, and maybe SOU can work with their SOU. We can let them borrow them for a day, something like that. So, but no, I mean, it's good things. There's a trailer that was taken over behind my favorite pho place in Federal Way. That trailer's gone. And they had the people come out and clean out that a little bit. It's still kind of a mess back there, but at least the homeless drug addicts aren't there causing problems for the businesses right over there. So that was a really positive thing. So I also really came here because a family friend, Scout over here, is here, and I'm not sure. The Scouts are back here, guys.
Yep.
So welcome, Scouts. I was a
Troop
Scout when I was a
307.
kid. So
It's Troop 307.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not part of it, but a friend of mine's kids over there. So anyways, so thanks for coming here, guys. This is what we do as adults. So, and you guys will be one of these days. So that was good. I went to a meeting for the 30th District for our representatives for 30th District on Saturday. I don't know that anybody got word of it except for a few people that are real close friends and part of their campaigns were there. It seemed like they were kind of upset that people that didn't necessarily agree with them were there. Christine Reeves was really great. She just basically said, hey, there are people that we need to talk to even though they didn't vote for us. And so I think that's a great attitude. Didn't come from the other two. But that being said, afterwards, after we had our public comment, everybody, shook hands and went on from there. And I think that's how politics should be. 7 more seconds. Thank you for our council this time around that City of Federal Way voted in. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ken. Yeah, I saw a picture of the carts at the Town Square Park. By 8:30 that morning or yesterday morning, after I had talked to John Hutton, our Parks Director, we had 1 person left, and then shortly thereafter, it had emptied out. So it was good to see that. Council President?
And I'd just like to say that when I was a state representative, I had a town hall both in the city of Federal Way and in 2 of the smaller cities in the 30th District. So, the 30th District is comprised of the city of Federal Way, Algona, and Pacific. Now, that's 120,000 people in the entire 30th District. 80% of those people, which is 100,000 in the city of Federal Way, are residents of the city of Federal Way. So perhaps our legislators would have been wise to have had a town hall both at the smaller city and at the large city, since they represent all of us. So I just want to make that suggestion.
All right, thank you. Okay, there was something else he talked about. I can't remember. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we'll check into that. Thank you. All right, thank you. Alex Milstein.
Hello, my name is Alex Bilson, and I'm a resident of Federal Way. I just wanted to let you all know about the fish fry on Friday. Every Friday throughout until Easter, there's a fish fry at the St. Francis de Paul Church. It's hosted in the social hall, and I believe it's hosted by the Knights of Columbus. And they serve really good fish and food there. And also, my youth group serves there sometimes, which is a really great experience. And another thing is that at the community center, the youth commission is raffling off a gift basket, which raises money for the First Step Scholarship, which allows youth of Federal Way to come to the community center if they apply for the scholarship and are accepted. And the money from the raffle goes to that. That is all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Alex. Betty Taylor. And Craig, I've got your pink sheet. Did you still want to?
I'd like to courteously abstain.
Come on up, Betty.
So is it okay if I have Susan Honda come down also?
Sure.
Is that okay, Susan?
Yeah.
Okay, so, so the reason why I asked Susan to come down, because we're both passionate about, an event that's coming up soon, National Night Out. It is very near and dear to our hearts. I've spoke about this, Susan has spoke about this, other people have visions, and, what we would like to propose to the city of Federal Way, if the city would sponsor National Night Out this year in a park. So we know that we have two, Celebration Park or New Town Square Park. We would also like we need a party planning committee. On this committee, what we would like to have, city staff on the committee, and that composes of Susan Honda, and I just pulled some people, and Andy Wong, and then, who else? We like to pull in the park and recs. We need to pull in those people that can help us with vision, okay? We need a vision and a plan. We also need support from leadership. We would like from leadership. Susan, go ahead.
Oh, okay, I didn't know I was going to be here or saying anything. So several years before the pandemic, because my life is before and after the pandemic, it seems like, Betty and I and Claire Wilson did hold a National Night Out event at Town Square Park for people whose neighborhoods did not hold an event. And we had over 300 people that year. It was amazing. But we really would like the city to be doing this, and we don't want to be doing it ourselves anymore. The city was gracious enough to let us use Town Square Park without a fee, and let us use the electrical outlets, but we still would prefer the city to hold the event. But if not, we may be holding the event again, and then we will need a planning team, and we'll be calling everyone we know.
And then is it my understanding that the person who's in charge of kind of like the person that really gives a definite okay of, yes, let's do this, is it the mayor? It's Jim?
Yeah.
So Jim, we fully respect you, okay? We respect you, but we really need some help. And we will respect whatever your wishes are.
Thanks, Betty.
And
Thank you. I'll give you a call in the next couple of days.
Okay.
Okay, thank you
All
very
right,
much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank
All right.
Okay.
All right, Jan Barber?
Thank you, Mayor Farrell, Council President Linda Kochmar, Deputy Mayor Susan Honda, and the members of the council. I wanted to remind everyone that the Federal Way Lions Club, are entering into our 5th year of doing Make Music Federal Way. We are planning a fundraising breakfast on the day that many of you are going to be traveling to your sister cities on April 22nd, Saturday, April 22nd, from 8 to 10. And I happen to have some tickets with me. That we're also looking for volunteers who might want to sing or otherwise play an instrument. And I think I have someone in mind. Will you pass this back? And I know one time when I introduced Make Music, I sang to you from Summertime. But since then, I've actually learned part of a Korean song and joined in on a Korean-American singing competition last August with 2 of my neighbors. So you're going to hear one verse. 사랑에 당신을 정말로 사랑해. And there's a lot more to it. Thank you. And I appreciate the support that you've all given to this Make Music and to the ones in the past.
Yay, thank you very much. I tell Jen that was legendary when she first got up here and sang Summertime. I'm like, man, that took courage. And she really did it well. And thank you so much for starting Make Music Federal Way. And it's a great event, so let's make sure we do that. It always happens to fall on my wife's birthday on the 21st, so I've got to always negotiate around that. But
Sing happy birthday.
exactly. All right. Sonia. It's Sonia, how do you pronounce your last name again? All right, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Farrell, Council President Linda, Deputy Mayor Susan, and members of the council. My name's Sanyele Welu. I was a veteran. I served 8 years in the United States Army, and I came out 2020. And when I came out, I just wanted to serve. I just wanted to keep serving the community. So I thought I wanted to serve West Seattle because that's where I grew up at. And it just happened that, I ended up serving more of my people, which is the Pacific Islander community. But I was also equal opportunity, but I'm half Mexican, my kids are half black. But I saw a lot of issues within the Pacific Islander community. So I decided to play rugby, and with rugby, it honestly changed the culture a lot within myself, within a lot of these kids. And while I was coaching, I started coaching high school rugby in 2021. And during that time, I heard a lot of stereotypical comments about the youth Islanders, about being undisciplined, just no respect. And I understand that because that's how I was, because I was lost. It was a communication barrier. So I wanted to find a solution, and the solution was putting on the Island Bowl last year. So the Island Bowl, we had brought the island community together, and we put on an all-star rugby game and brought the culture together with vendors and sharing the culture. And this year we'll be doing the same thing, but we'll be doing it at Sahali on May 27th. So we'll also have a job fair there. And we plan on sharing the culture as well and breaking those communication barriers so that, it's just a misunderstanding of communication between, those who grew up in a rough lifestyle and those who, are privileged, And it doesn't have to be white, black, or whatnot. It's just the way that they are grown, because I was in Hawaii. I was able to see Islanders from the ground up, and then, the richest Islander as well. So it's not really, for me, it's not really about the race. It's more about, the opportunities and the experience that the person has, and what they've been through in life. So we kind of want to share that and break those communication barriers and invite all of Federal Way, and also the city of Federal Way to be part of it as we celebrate this during the Pacific Islander Heritage Month in May. But that's it, and thank you guys for your guys' time, and
Great.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
What time? What time?
What time on May 27th? It'll be from 9 to 6 p.m., so it'll be an all-day event.
Awesome.
And then I got the flyers here, and I can talk to you guys.
Could you leave us a flyer, please?
Yes, I
Yeah.
can.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you,
I was just
guys.
going to say.
Thank you for your
actually,
service.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for your service. Okay, Anna Patrick. And do we have anybody on the line after Anna? Okay. By the way, I know that Councilmember Norton is gone, but isn't that the best possible excuse you've ever heard of to miss a city council meeting? Literally delivered a baby. That's going to be hard to top. Anna?
Hi.
Yeah. Sorry.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council President, Council. I wanted to Ken beat me to it. I was going to talk to you guys about the King County property at the top of Peaslee Canyon. That property is really starting to be more noticeable. When I drive by, looks like they've cleared quite a bit of the land there. I'm not sure if they're getting ready to build something or if somebody else cleared it, but there's cars being dropped off there. And I'm noticing, cars are kind of being dropped off in different parts of our city that are just being shredded and then they're just sitting there. So I don't know if you've noticed that car that's just sitting there right on the county line. It's been sitting there for quite a while. So, what happens with these cars when they get abandoned on these county properties? I think the stand-up did a cleanup a while ago, and it got cleaned up for a while, and now it's just back to the way it was, but the car's still sitting there. We got a nice little photo op in the car, but we were kind of hoping that car would disappear at some point, and we reached out to the county. They refer us to the sheriff, and, well, there's not enough of them to go around in King County, so how can we advocate for our city to clear up this property? I guess we need some help with some guidance. A lot of the county meetings, they're all in the middle of the day in Seattle. We're kind of cut off here in Federal Way from the access to those meetings. And, I listened in on one of the meetings recently about sort of Community Pathways, their report. And, they kind of joked about how there wasn't any public comment. Well, of course, because most of us are at work and, it's middle of the day, it's hard to get to Seattle. And one of the things that they talked about was, and it was concerning to some of the council, and but I'm not sure what they're going to do about it, but half of the youth referred have no follow-up. Up to 50% of the youth that are referred to that program have zero follow-up. So that was very concerning to some of the council members, and not sure what's going to come of that. So kind of a theme here. There's issues with King County, the bus stop, the property that's right over our border. What can we do as a city to reach out? How can we better advocate for ourselves? If you can give us some tools, we'd like to do what we can, and we need your help. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and actually, Anna, you just did it. So what we'll do, actually, the chief is right there. I'll ask the chief to reach out to King County Sheriff's Office tomorrow, and if there's a code, Anna, if there's a code issue as opposed to with regard to the abandoned car, we will ask, if the King County Sheriff's Office can't do it, we'll ask if we can. And so thank you very much for being here today to talk about that. Chief, let's figure out where that car is at with regard to our property line or our, the city limits. And then let's make sure that we reach out. And as well as any other code violations, let's take a look. Perhaps we can, again, see exactly where that line is at and refer to our, maybe, Keith, maybe you could talk to your counterpart at King County, and we'll talk about that, and we'll reach out. All right. Thank you. We'll Anna, and we'll keep you in the loop on that. We've got your contact information. Okay. All right. And okay, Chief, that concludes public comment. I don't have any. There's nothing else. Okay. Thank you, everybody. That's the most important thing we do, is to hear from the folks that come here and that really want to be heard, and it's critically important that we do. So thank you. Okay, and now we're on to presentations. We have the ceremonial promotional swearing in of Commander Kyle Buchanan. Yay.
Why don't you go front and center for now? Yeah, we'll call you over here in a minute. Good evening, Mayor Farrell, Council President Kochmar, Deputy Mayor Honda, and members of the council. This evening, we would like to publicly recognize and celebrate the promotion of Lieutenant Kyle Buchanan to the rank of Commander. Mayor Farrell will give the oath of office tonight. Our department has been in existence now for 26 years. The key ingredient of our success has been to promote the right individuals. Kyle is one of those individuals. He embodies our agency's core values and deserves this recognition, has earned this promotion. Lieutenant Buchanan has over 20 years of law enforcement experience. As an officer in Federal Way, Kyle worked in patrol and as a K-9 officer for 7 years. Kyle's had collateral assignments as a firearm instructor for 4 years, field training officer for 7 years, in the past year as the field training officer lieutenant and administrative lieutenant. As a lieutenant, Kyle's been an incident commander for hundreds of critical incidents. Kyle has a bachelor's degree in law and justice from Central Washington University. In 2014, Kyle received the Medal of Valor from the department, and in 2015, Kyle received the Medal of Honor from Washington State Governor Jay Inslee for the actions that saved multiple lives in 2013. This recognition and medal are given to an officer who has been distinguished by exceptionally meritorious conduct. This is the first time in our agency history that we had received such recognition. Only few law enforcement officers in Washington will ever receive such an award. In 2018, Lieutenant Buchanan received the Medal of Distinguished Service Award for the saving lives of the SWAT team members when they confronted an armed suspect inside of a home. Lieutenant Buchanan is a competent supervisor, a quality individual, and a person of integrity. We're very excited for Kyle, and I'm pleased to promote him to the position of commander. Please join me in congratulating Commander Buchanan for this significant career achievement in his law enforcement career. Now, kind of the fun part. We're going to have Kyle's wife, Julie, and their children come up. Corbin and Emilia will pin the badge this evening. So all three of you, come on up. Yep. Did the practice pay off, Julie? Okay. All right, I think there's some people taking pictures, so do that. Yeah. In fact, we have Alex from the mayor, so, okay, he's coming this way. So why don't you come on up, and we'll do, the mayor will give you the official oath of office.
Commander. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, please state your name,
I, Kyle Buchanan,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I am a citizen of the United States
that I am a citizen of the United States
and the state of Washington,
and the state of Washington,
and that I will support the Constitution
and that I will support the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and Constitution and laws
and Constitution and laws
of the state of Washington
of the state of Washington
and the laws and ordinances
and the laws and ordinances
of the city of Federal Way.
of the city of Federal Way.
And I will, to the best of my judgment, skill, and ability,
And I will, to the best of my judgment, skill, and ability,
truly, faithfully, diligently, and impartially,
truly, sorry, I can repeat that one more time.
truly, faithfully, diligently, and impartially.
Truly, faithfully, diligently, and impartially
I got a cheat sheet. That's how I do it. Perform the duties of police commander
perform the duties of police commander
in and for the city of Federal Way,
in and for the city of Federal Way,
and as such duties as prescribed by law.
and as such duties as prescribed by law.
Congratulations, Commander.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, Chief, remind him, we've got cake here for the kids, so just what they need right before bedtime, right? Right, Commander? But we're going to have a reception here in just a few moments. But we won't be giving away free puppies, I promise.
And I think we should be very proud of our police department. We have an excellent police department working on your behalf.
Absolutely, yeah, thank you. And that's quite Commander, that's quite an accomplishment to be, to rise to this rank. That's really, it's just one step below Deputy Chief. It's really quite an accomplishment. We're really proud of you. Okay, and we do have a great police force. They were working really hard. Okay, and now we've got a very special young person here who is a student at Decatur High School, who's made international news and is, I'm sure, going to make much more. He actually goes to high school with my son, and we're just, I've been hearing all about this, and we've got a very, very special presentation, and I'm going to let somebody else read the proclamation, but we are here for a proclamation to honor E.M. Tanguy, and congratulations, E.M., and we will turn this over first to the council president and then to Councilmember Lydia Cefados.
Thank you. So, E.M., would you come to the podium, please? We're going to take turns reading the proclamation, then we'll bring it down to you, and maybe then you'll surprise us with a surprise, if you want to.
Yeah.
Proclamation, E.M. Tanguy Day. Whereas the motto for the City of Federal Way is centered on opportunity, and the city strives to ensure each citizen of Federal Way is given the environment to grow and take advantage of every opportunity afforded them. And whereas individuals come to the city of Federal Way from all over the United States and throughout the world to find affordable living, job opportunities, and settle with their families and loved ones. And whereas the Federal Way Public Schools have worked to promote successes for each of their scholars educated in their schools. And whereas, in particular, the Donge family moved to Federal Way in June of 2019, where their youngest son, E.M., enrolled as a scholar at Federal Way High School and then Decatur High School, pursuing a career in music. And
whereas E.M.'s father, Rodney Donge, was his biggest fan, encourager, and inspiration, who encouraged him to stay true to his unique and talented self. And whereas E.M. took the opportunity to compete on American Idol in honor of his father, who passed away in 2021, and whereas E.M. pursued his dreams of music by auditioning for American Idol, performing The Sun's Monsters by James Blunt, earning a coveted spot in Hollywood to continue to compete for a record contract. Now, therefore, we, the undersigned mayor and city council members of the city of Federal Way, do hereby proclaim March 21, 2023 to be E.M. Donge Day and call upon the people of Federal Way to unite to support the endeavors and successes of this young man and musician. Signed this 21st day of March 2023.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, before I forget, I also want to say his mom, Lillian, is here with us as well. So welcome and thank you for being here. Go ahead.
Thank you guys for this opportunity, and just want to say, I'm not really special, but I just had that platform, and I just wanted to say to everyone out there, man, just do what you love, man. If you don't doubt yourself, just love yourself and trust, and I don't really know what to say right now. It's kinda, sorry.
All right, thank you.
Oh yeah, and the next episode that I'm gonna air in is in 2 weeks on Sunday. So if you guys want to tune in, yeah.
We will. Good luck.
Thank you.
You can hear him on YouTube.com. Go to the YouTube video and put in his IAMTONGI, and you can hear him sing. It's wonderful.
Should we do a picture with the entire council? Yeah. Yeah, let's say, council, let's come down to the front here. It's your day, so we got to all celebrate together. We'll break for cake and refreshments for our reception.
I guess we better enjoy this one. Next time we'll be paying for it.
should we sit down here, Willie, please? Where do you want to sit? You want to go up in the, or where should he be?
He needs to be at the mic.
At the mic,
Yeah. Sorry guys, I kind of lost my voice a little bit. Okay, what's up with it? Sorry, I gotta look up the lyrics real quick. Okay, got him. All right. This song, I really love this song. It talks about, it's called Courage. Talks about, to have courage when when no one's around, and to just always do what is right. Yeah. And I just wanted to sing this song. As a young child, I learned to be honest and true to the things I believe in my heart, even when this old world is cruel. Yes, I learned to be brave, and I learned to defend the precious things of the Savior and endure to the end. As I strive to hold on to the things that I know are true, temptations, they beckon to me and try to subdue. It takes courage to win and nothing to lose. And now I plead for His mercy as I struggle to choose. Courage is doing what's right in the presence of fear. It takes courage to do what I should when no one is near. Courage is my way of saying I will follow Thee when the world walks out on me. Courage is my way of saying I will follow Thee when the world walks out on me.
Wow. That's great.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
And Mayor,
Okay, we're going to take a, yes.
it's within the 3-minute public comment. Just a
Great.
little over.
Exactly. All right, we're going to take a brief 10-minute recess. I'll do the timer, and you can, just to make sure. Exactly, that's exactly. Hey, so you guys, there's tons of cake back there, but Bill, you're responsible for making sure I don't have any. And you guys, let's, right now, 10 minutes, enjoy the cake, enjoy some, I get to talk to Ian, and look forward to it. So, thanks. Great job.
So this Sunday, next Sunday is our last audition round, and then after that,
Okay, guess who forgot to turn on the timer? This guy. Let's go, guys. I call it to order. She's not playing.
She doesn't like my idea.
Well, Bill did his job. He made sure I didn't. He wrestled me to the floor before I could get to it. So, thanks, Bill. Okay, now let's move on. Let's resume our business. Gosh, what a great performance. And thank you, Deputy Mayor and Councilmember Assefa Dawson, for your role in making sure that we had that special young man with us today. All right. So, item 6, Council Committee and Regional Committee reports. We've got Parks, Recreation, Human Services, and Public Safety Committee reports. First, that's Councilmember Walsh.
How am I supposed to follow what we just had there? I mean, that was, I guarantee that that is the best 5 minutes of council meeting that the Federal Way City Council has ever had.
Here, here.
So, anyway.
Is there a second?
But he can follow up by singing.
Yeah, exactly.
I can sing, but not like that. So,
Okay,
anyway.
okay.
So, but with the council report, the Parks, Recreation, Human Services, and Public Safety Committee met a week ago tonight, and item H on the agenda, on the consent agenda, came out of that meeting, and we will be meeting next April 11th, and that is our report.
Great, thank you very much. All right, Land Use and Transportation Committee, Councilmember Dovey.
Yes, Land Use and Transportation, next meeting is April 5th. On the consent agenda, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items that came out of committee that all passed unanimously, so we're moving ahead.
Absolutely, thank you very much. All right, Finance, Economic Development, Regional Affairs Committee, Councilmember Tran.
I can sing if we end the meeting now.
Is there a second?
Anyway, our meeting is going to be on next Tuesday at 5 p.m.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, Councilmember Assefa Dawson.
Yes, our meeting is April 12th, Wednesday, the second Wednesday. But I also got a chance to visit with two of our three new members on the committee and had a nice chat, so I'll talk to you about it later, Tanya. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. I attended the Regional Transit Committee meeting last week, and Metro says that they're working with PSRC and are helping the local cities with their comprehensive plans. So I hope they are. If they're not, they're willing to help. I attended the Board of Health caucus meeting, and then I had another meeting to go to and went back to the end of the Board of Health meeting. But we had a report on youth access to cannabis, and if you're interested in that, they run those meetings on King County TV every now and then. But it was really interesting. We had a report about 2 or 3 years ago, on youth access to cannabis, and so this was an updated report. And one of our biggest concerns 2 years ago, which remains our biggest concern now, is little ones getting into cannabis that people bring into their home with their packaging, because the packaging in the state of Washington, after we were part of the folks that really drove the state to change the packaging on cannabis so that it's not so colorful and attractive to children. It still is, and it's still easy to get in, because once it's open, then the kids can get into it. So I had suggested we require, like you do with a gun or a weapon, where you have to put it into a safe bag and lock it up. I don't know that that'll go anywhere, but I do think that we need to, as a state, really push safety with cannabis, because it's getting stronger, and kids are there are more calls to poison control than ever because of cannabis in children and animals. So we are not done with fighting to keep kids safe. The broadband committee that the city council approved and is working here at the city is almost finished, and council should have a draft report sometime next month, which will be very interesting to look at. The PIC meeting was on March 8th. I was not available to attend it that night, but I did review the packet, and I did send everyone an email with an update on House Bill 1110 that came out of that meeting yesterday. And then today there was a skateboard meeting, and we had a great discussion on SR 509 and 167. And hopefully it will continue to be funded, and the state won't, take any money away from it or not give money to it, but that really needs to get going. Those are going to be toll roads. And that will be, I hope people will use those roads when they're available, because it will take traffic off of our local roads. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. Council President.
Well, I'd just like to say, as we discussed previously, we're going to be going to the National League of Cities Conference at the end of this week. A majority of the council will be there, and we will be lobbying on your behalf. And the reason we're doing that is because a lot of our projects, the transportation, for example, a portion will come from the city, a small portion. A larger portion would come from the state, and then the majority would come from the federal government. And so that's why it's so important. One time, years ago, I had gone to lobby for several years to the federal legislators, and I was so proud that we brought back $12 million until I found out that the city of Redmond had brought back $200 million for their road projects. And so I just think that we need to put pressure on behalf of, for our citizens. But since we will be at the nation's capital, I'd like to make a motion at the next council meeting when we get back that our own council member Jack Walsh sing the national anthem. He's very good.
Okay, well, we'll make that happen.
Put it in there, Jack.
Oh, exactly. Oh,
You're
good to-
on, Jack.
Good to know, okay.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Yeah, all right. Okay, thank you very much. Now we're on to consent agenda. These items have gone through committee. It could be passed all at once, or once I read them, I'll ask if a council member would want to pull an item for separate consideration. Bill, would you please fix that shade on the far left side and the one on the far right side? Thank you. They're not the same. It doesn't look nice. All right. That's what we do in Federal Way. We fix things when we see them. All right, item A, minutes, March 7, 2023, regular and special meeting minutes. B, approval to submit NPDES annual report. C, 2023 asphalt overlay project bid award. D, demolition of bridges barn structure, authorization to bid. E, selecting docketed proposals to amend the comprehensive plan for 2023, further city review. F, initiation of development agreement for Kitts Corner. G, initiation of development agreement for Wild Waves. H, 2022 program year consolidated annual performance and evaluation report, otherwise known as CAPER. Council, is there a council member that would want to pull an item for separate consideration? Deputy Mayor?
Item B.
B, okay. Any others, council? Okay, and Council President, do you have a motion?
Yes, sir. I move approval of item A and then items C through H of the consent agenda items for approval.
Second.
Been a motion, a second of items A and C through H. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Matters passed unanimously. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. So I had a couple questions on this, and first of all, it's a great report, and there's a lot of work that goes into this, and it's just pretty awesome. It took me probably over 2 hours to read through it. But I have a question on the Hylabus and on the capital improvement projects. So who am I talking to? Oh, okay. Then I will look that way. I was looking over there and there's no one over there. So on the Hylabus, there's a lot of discussion on the Hylabus and how sensitive it is and how we need to protect it and what has been done. With the development of the IRG property and the Sound Transit Maintenance and Operations Yard going in the area where the Heidel bus is and North Lake is. Are there special protections for the Heidel bus with the work that they're doing over there? Is it in danger of not being as good as it is now? Or,
No, it's not in danger. Most of the report that you read focuses on the area of the West Hylebos south of 352nd, which is considered the critical high-value area. So basically from 352nd down to the city line, that's the bulk of it. Granted, it does look at the entire watershed, so as you mentioned, it's a rather long report, and without knowing what specific section you're looking at, it's, I'm kind of generalizing
Okay.
a little bit. But in short, no, those projects are designed in accordance with the county requirements. Part of those projects, especially the IRG one, for example, went through the hearing examiner and was required to be compliant with the watershed plan and everything else that went through that. So that has all been vetted to ensure that there is no impacts as a result of those developments.
okay. And then my second question is on, there's table 4-1, capital improvement projects. And then they have a total cost versus the unfunded needs and the time frame. With the building of the maintenance and operations yard for Parks and Public Works, will fees need to be increased to pay for some of those projects?
That's not projected to need to be increased, no.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. The report's awesome, and I especially like the education piece with the salmon being released and the fact that now it's going to be shown so that the children that aren't releasing the salmon will also be able to watch it. I think that's really awesome. So thank you very much. And I move approval of item B.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor of item B?
Aye.
Opposed? Matter passes unanimously. Thank you. Item 8, ordinances, first reading. Item A, Council Bill 845 of /2022, Comprehensive Plan Amendments, Rivera Property Site Specific Request of Public Works Text Amendments, Non-Motorized Transportation. First, we'll have a staff report from Natalie Kamenecki, Associate Planner, then we'll have public comment, and then we'll move from there. Natalie.
Thank you, Mayor Farrell. One moment while I grab this PowerPoint. Okay, good evening, Mayor Farrell, President, Council President Kochmar, Deputy Mayor Honda, and members of City Council. For the record, again, my name is Natalie Kamenecki. I'm an Associate Planner with the Community Development Department, and we are here for the first reading of the 2022 Comprehensive Plan Amendments. There was one site-specific request, citizen-initiated, that is the Rivera property. This request is for a comprehensive plan amendment and rezone of a parcel located at 1600 South 304th Street. This request would be changing the designation from professional office to community business. The remainder of the amendments are text amendments for the Public Works Department for non-motorized transportation projects, including city center improvements, Federal Way Transit Center pedestrian connections, West Fork Hylebos Trail, and other non-motorized facilities around the South Federal Way Transit Station. A quick background, a SEPA environmental determination was issued for these projects on April 15th, 2022, with a comment period expiring April 29th, 2022. Appeal period expiring May 20th, 2022, and no appeals were filed. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on September 15th of 2022, and the Planning Commission recommended approval of the comprehensive plan amendments as proposed. The Land Use and Transportation Committee considered these requests at their regularly scheduled meetings on February 6th and February 6th and March 6th of this year, and the committee recommended to approve the comprehensive plan amendments in a 2-to-1 vote. Over the course of comment periods, there were several comment letters received from members of the public, which are included as exhibits in your staff report. Some of the main concerns were regarding traffic congestion, increased crime in the area, potentially decreased property values, and potential multifamily uses at the property. No public comments were specifically received for the Public Works text amendments. So we will circle back and we will first look at the non-project site-specific Rivera property request. Again, this is a 1.26 acre site. It's located at the intersection of South 304th Street and 16th Avenue South. The request again is to change the designation from professional office to community business to afford additional flexibility in uses that would be able to be established at that site. The location is within proximity to Federal Way High School and other mixed retail uses, including religious assembly, vehicle service station, and also residential uses, including attached dwelling units and single-family dwelling units. The Public Works text amendments begin with the City Center extending the BPA Trail from 11th Place and 13th Avenue South along the north side of South 324th Street to 23rd Avenue South, and along the west side of 23rd Avenue South from South 324th to South 320th Street. A Federal Way Transit Center pedestrian connection to construct a sidewalk to preserve pedestrian accesses within large blocks within the city center. The North Fork West Hylebos Trail would be to construct a trail within the Spring Valley along the North Fork of the Hylebos Creek. And there are 6 other items for non-motorized facilities around the South Federal Way Transit Station to provide additional multimodal ways to get around without using a vehicle. So the bulk of these are construction of sidewalks and bike lanes, a staircase and ADA accessible ramp, a crossing for non-motorized avenues, and again, sidewalks and bike lanes on those streets. The mayor's recommendation is option 1 to move the ordinance to second reading on the April 4th council meeting. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
All right. Councilmember Dovey, can you please move that water thing? I can never see if I can't see if your thing is on. Councilmember Seffa-Dawson. Thank you very much. Councilmember Seffa-Dawson?
Yeah, so the staircase for ADA accessible is being considered on South 359th and SR 161. So is that the only location, and why was that identified as a spot where we should have the ADA accessible ramp?
I will have Rick Perez come and address your question.
Thank you.
So, as you may know, that 359th dead ends right at the up against the wall that holds up Enchanted Parkway, and that was perceived by Sound Transit to be a potential impediment to station access, depending on where the station ended up, and so that's why we added it. Whether I would assume that if we were to build that it would be ADA accessible.
So if it doesn't happen there, if the trail, if the Sound Transit, if they
Right.
change then would it go somewhere else?
I don't know that we'd necessarily move it to someplace else. It would certainly lessen the need to construct it. So, we have lots of projects on our capital improvement plan for 20 years that, might not happen for a really long time. So it may languish there, or if there's some other need that evolves, then we would move that forward eventually.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Council, any other questions? Councilmember Dovey, do you have a motion?
Yes, I move.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm
Read
sorry.
the ordinance first.
That's right. Or actually, even before that, do we have public comment?
We don't have anyone signed up, Mayor, no.
All right, thank you. Okay, no public comment. Would the city clerk please read the ordinance title?
Council Bill 845, 2022 Comprehensive Plan Amendments, Rivera, Property Site Specific Request and Public Works Text Amendments, Non-Motorized Transportation. An ordinance of the City of Federal Way, Washington, amending the Federal Way Comprehensive Plan Map, and Zoning Map, changing the Comprehensive Plan designation and zoning of 1.26 acres located at the southeast corner of First Avenue South and South 328th Street, parcel number 052-104-9204, and from professional office, PO, to company community business, BC, and amending the text of Comprehensive Plan Chapter 3, Transportation, to include various citywide non-motorized transportation improvement projects.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Dovey.
Yes, I move to forward the proposed ordinance to the April 4th, 2023 council meeting for second reading and enactment.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you very much.
Okay, item B, Council Bill 846, Community Business, BC Code Amendments for School Uses. This is why the school district is here. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being here. All right, staff report from Keith Niven, our Community Development Director.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council President Kochmar. I clearly can't do this and talk. Deputy Mayor Honda and City Council members, Keith Niven, Community Development Director. This evening, we have a proposed code amendment related to, again, the community business zone, and this is for school uses. And the policy question in front of the City Council is, should the City Council amend height regulations applicable to minor and supporting structures for school use in the community business zoning district? So the proposed amendment is applicable to Federal Way High School and will accommodate the proposed new lighting for Memorial Field. The proposed code amendment is to add this note 16 to the use tables, and note 16 says minor and supporting structures constructed as a functional requirement of schools may exceed the applicable height limitation, provided that the director determines that such structures will not significantly impact adjacent properties. So that's the proposed amendment. So the analysis, we hired, this is all about the school lights. And the proposal that came in to the city with the field reconstruction was to put taller light standards out there. And the consultant that the school district hired said these lights, even though they're taller, are going to be less impactful than the lights that are out there on the field currently. I'm not a photometric analysis expert. We don't have any on staff. So we hired Stantec, which is an expert in the field of lighting, to help the city kind of evaluate this proposal and make sure that it was indeed less impactful than what's there now. And yes, indeed, they agreed with the consultant that was used by the school district that allowing for the lights to be taller means less light standards and that they can be directed more directly, at the field and less spillover into the adjacent residential. We have approved similar code, so that provision that I read you on the last slide, we've already approved similar code provisions in other zones, like for Lakota Park, there's tall light standards there. My understanding from speaking with a planner who just recently retired is they just missed this one when they did the other code amendments years ago. So with that, the options for you this evening are approve the proposed code amendment, do not approve the proposed code amendment, and provide direction to staff. And the mayor's recommendation is to please approve the proposed code amendment.
Deputy Mayor?
Thank you. And have the folks that live around there, have they had information about this, and do they have opinions about it one way or another?
So we did have to, as part of the process, there's both notification for the environmental review, as well as the notification that for the hearing at the Planning Commission. We received only one email from residents, and as I read the email, yes, they were opposed to taller structures, but I think they maybe didn't understand that we weren't approving taller buildings. It's really just the support structures, which in this case is the light fixtures. And they did not come to the Planning Commission hearing, they just sent an email in back in November.
I was wondering with the school district folks here, if they could give us an update on the stadium. Everyone's talking about it.
Michael?
Is that
or-
okay?
Sure, of course. Yeah, great idea.
Thank you. The old stadium's gone.
Yeah, we're really excited about it.
Yes. Yes. Hi, I am Chris Stamen with McGranahan Architects, architect on the project. Yeah, so things are moving. The old stadium and the old lights are down. Field turf just arrived today and is being rolled out. We've got some permitting issues we're trying to get through. Although we do have 8 of our 9 permits, the one that we don't have is a critical one. So we're working with staff on that. And we're still targeted for completion this fall.
Fantastic. That's
Before
good.
the first football game?
That's we're hoping,
Okay.
but currently all of the football schedule is scheduled away as a plan B. But we're hoping as soon as it's ready, the games will be shifted and be ready to be on the new field.
Awesome, thank you, thanks for
That's
your
great.
report.
Yeah, go ahead.
Michael Swartz, Executive Director of Capital Projects, and I'll just add one thing. We're working with the community. We met with the Superintendent Scholar Advisory today. We're meeting with parents tomorrow to talk about kind of the fun part, which is the branding, the colors, the banners for the high schools, and what it will all look like when it's done. So happy to share that at some point with any or all of you.
That's great. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. We've all been there many times. My son's been, for the past couple seasons playing on that field. And I think Councilmember Dovey actually played on that field when it first opened.
I played the first game of the stadium.
Isn't that amazing, you guys?
Yeah, and I think Judge Larson was also the.
That's right, that's right.
And my husband.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's great. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for the work you're doing. All right, and we'll get right on that permit.
Absolutely, we're already working on it today.
Okay, so, was that it, Keith?
That is it, sir, thank you.
All right, were there any other questions? Are there any public comments?
Nobody signed up, Mayor.
All right, thank you. And would the city clerk please read the ordinance title?
Council Bill 846, Community Business BC Code Amendments for School Uses, an ordinance of the City of Federal, Washington, relating to height of minor and supporting structures for school uses in the Community Business BC Zoning District, amending Federal Revised Code 19222040.
And it's altogether fitting that Councilmember Dovey gets to make this motion.
Yes, I move to forward the proposed ordinance to the April 4th, 2023 council meeting for second reading and enactment.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Great work, everybody. Okay, now we're on to second reading and enactment on item C. Actually, would the city clerk please read the ordinance title?
Council Bill 843, designating the preferred operations and maintenance facility site and authorizing property acquisition, option 1, expansion of existing facility east of 28th Avenue South. An ordinance of the City of Federal, Washington, providing for the selection and acquisition of certain properties for the purpose of constructing a joint use operations and maintenance facility and directing staff to exhaust reasonable negotiation efforts to purchase said properties.
All right, Councilmember Dovey.
I move approval of the proposed ordinance.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Matter passes unanimously. Council reports. It's the second meeting of the month, so we'll start on the other end. Councilmember Dovey.
I have nothing to report.
All right,
Other
thank-
than we're going to DC to lobby with council president and deputy mayor and the mayor.
That's right, absolutely. All right, Councilmember Walsh.
This last week, today with public comment, there was some, some criticism of the city, but also some compliments of the city. And this last week, I had the, shall I say, opportunity to spend 3 days up in Seattle. And I noted the remarkable contrast between Seattle and Federal Way with the way that we handle the the homeless encampments and things like that. Graffiti. I mean, Seattle is covered everywhere with graffiti. And here I commend the staff on doing an incredible job of quickly covering up graffiti. You know, occasionally it's not covered up quite as quickly as what we'd like, but that's the exception, not the rule. And I mean, it's great with that. And with the, you know, the police enforcement of the different things, I mean, you know, as with the, you know, the fire this morning, I mean, we're not perfect, but I mean, compared to our surrounding communities, I think that it's an exceptional, you know, exceptional job. And I was very pleased to hear also that the shopping cart ordinance is beginning to be enforced. And it will take a while for it to really bear fruit, I think, but it's a beginning. And so, you know, we have challenges. We have huge challenges, but we're moving in the right direction, and I'm very, very pleased with that. And I appreciate the efforts of my associates here on the dais and the great staff and the community as well, and the community involvement and the people that come and give public comment. We live in a great community.
We do. Thank you, Councilmember Walsh. And actually, with regard to graffiti, we heard from business owner Jim Ross early in the week, or it was last week, where he had said that he was noticing that graffiti on the I-5 was starting to creep up on our entrances and exits and on our HOV entrance at 317th. So thank you, Keith, and your team, because even though it's DOT property, we just said, let's get out there. We cleaned it up. I sent you those pictures, and we're just not going to allow that to happen. And it is astonishing when you go, even like the new I-5 sections, the new infrastructure in Tacoma, where there's just nothing but graffiti on these I-5 structures.
Have we had any feedback from DOT on the job that we did?
You know, I don't know. You know, exactly. Well, we'll get right back to them. Exactly. Exactly. All right. So no feedback, right, guys? All right. Councilor Tran.
I don't have anything to report out, but I just want to wish those of you who will be going to Washington, D.C., wish you all safe travels.
Thank you very much.
Can I mention one other thing that I forgot?
Of course.
Also, coming up in 1 month is the annual Parks Appreciation Day, April 22nd, from 9 to noon. And, you know, I encourage the community to get out and support the parks. And it's I think this is the 18th year, John? 18th year of it. And it's done over the years. It's been a remarkable event. And this year, I unfortunately will miss it this year. Maybe we can clean up a park in Korea. I don't know. But anyway, but we need community support on it once again.
Very good. Thank you very much. Councilmember Seffa Dawson.
Thank you, Mayor. So as I look at our tagline centered on opportunity, and when we were drafting the proclamation for EM, we talk about how the city strives to ensure each citizen of Federal is given the environment to grow and take advantage of, and it goes on and on about the citizens or people. So at some point, I would like for us to think about, consider, whatever, adding for all to that. It just, you know, this resonated very well as we were drafting it, and I've always wondered what I didn't see there, and I think that's what it was. So it's just an idea I'd like to share with you and the rest of the council, and hopefully something we can consider. Thank you for your time, and that's it for me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. All right, Deputy Mayor.
Well, first, I'd like to say congratulations to Councilmember Norton. I've never delivered a baby, but I've helped. I mean, I've been in the delivery room 3 times for myself, but I also as a nurse. On this day in 1977, I received my CAP in nursing school, which was a really big deal. It meant that you made it through the first year, which was a year that if you're going to be kicked out or drop out, you did. And so, nice anniversary. On March 10th, I attended the annual Communities in Schools breakfast with, Linda Kochmar was there. It was at Thomas Jefferson. It was on a Friday, which was a no-school day for the kids. And the Federal Way High School culinary class made breakfast for us. Excuse me. It was a great program. The ROTC kids from Federal Way High School and Todd Beamer were there. And just a really great program. I don't think it was very well advertised. And I know that council did not receive an invitation. I went with the Kiwanis Club, so. I'd also like to talk a little bit about the South King Tool Library. They're open, I go there usually on Saturday mornings, but it's amazing. They have, their clientele has grown and grown and grown since they've been open. And people are coming and checking out tools and getting instructions on how to use them. That means they don't have to go buy them and use them once and then throw them away and waste money and waste a good tool. But they've done so well that they have a grant from King County to open an Auburn branch. So I think that's just amazing. And I know there is a lot of hard work that many people in this room worked with that group that was working to open the tool library. I think it took 5 years. So amazing, just, I'm really proud of them. And I'm looking forward to Washington DC. I was put on a committee a couple months ago, a Communications and Technology Committee, and one of the council members on that committee is from the city of Dubuque, Iowa, where my daughter-in-law works, and our kids lived there for a little bit, and her name is Susan too, so I get to meet her, and it'll just be a good time. Learning a lot. They're really going to be focusing on broadband this year, because there's a lot of money federally for broadband, so there'll be a lot of discussion on broadband issues.
Awesome, thank you. Council President.
Thank you, and I think Tanya just told me that they're still working on, we already have a meeting established with Congressman Smith, but we're working on the two senators. One is established and they're working on the other. So we'll have that information soon. Well, I'd like to just also compliment our police officers in the city of Federal Way for their excellent work on your behalf, because some people wonder why some cities do well with their police and others don't. And I think, I may have this incorrect, but I think Memphis, Tennessee, where the 5 police officers just beat up one person and he died, they didn't have adequate training. And I think some cities are having trouble hiring police officers or people to be police officers that have the right background or training. And I think that we've made it quite one of our hallmarks to have well-trained police officers. And then also to have empathetic. But you know what else they need? They need the council behind them and the citizens behind them, so that they know we are backing them up in doing the right thing. And then I want to thank the mayor. Guess what, Mayor? I'm going to thank you. And staff. This is unusual. You have to listen to for getting our lobbyists to put money in the Department of Commerce in the budget, which is being discussed in Olympia right now. We may not get this, but it is being requested in the budget by our lobbyists for going straight to the Department of Commerce. That's where the money comes from, so that's a good thing. The two local and community projects for the Department of Commerce, $822,000 for Celebration Park turf for one field. And the reason why you'd say, well, why do we care about turf fields? Well, we do because it saves the city money, a lot of money in maintenance, and also allows our children to play 24/7. So rather than just having people coming into our community to use those fields and then have them sit fallow while the grass recovers, we then can have our citizens, our children, use those fields 24/7. So that's why it's important. The biggest thing is saving money on the maintenance so that we can use that money for other things, such as the next project that is being presented in the Department of Commerce called Behavioral Health Community Capacity Grants. $1.6 million for Recovery Innovators Crisis Stabilization. So those are two very, very good projects that are now included in the budget in Olympia, and let's hope we get them. So thank you, Mayor, thank you, staff, for your work on that. And yes, and I'm going to say God bless our folks who are, I'm a risk manager, going up in a plane, and I don't like everybody on a plane altogether. I want them in separate planes. That's what a risk manager does. Wish them well and come back safe. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We gotta. And then Tanya, can you please make sure that we reach out to our federal lobbyists, let them know about this 882? You would discuss that. We need to make sure that they know that we've got this, or word that we're about to get it.
And we need more, because that doesn't cover one field.
Right, that's right.
So we need
But at least they like to know as far as whether there's match and whether we've got skin in the game, so to speak. Okay, with that, great job, everyone. Great meeting. Thank you for all the work you do. And it was probably one of the best musical performances until Councilmember Walsh sings the national. So trust me, that's on the agenda. All right. We are adjourned.